go ahead and talk about tonight what you guys were able to do to end up pulling this one out.
I think we, when it got tough in the end, I think we kind of came together and executed. I think we got the right stops. We didn't get a lot of them. We need to get way more. I think that, it's good for us to get, some close games during the season and then practice that and get that. And full credit to them. They're a good team. But I think we executed when we needed to throughout the game. And when they had the runs, we kind of stuck through it. We never went down. We were always there.
You guys are 4-0 right now. Early going, where do you guys see your fingerprint being for this program? 4 games in.
I think we've shown we can do a variety of things. I think obviously the first thing you might see when you look at us is we try to play fast, maybe shoot the ball well. But I think we showed it today. We can get to the line. We can score inside. I think multiple ways we gotta sharpen up our defense a little bit. I think that's what will take us even further, but we just got to keep going and then take it a game at a time.
For you personally, have you been able to settle in, kind of, figure out what Miami basketball is all about? Yeah,
absolutely. I think, right from when I got here, it's easy. It's they're easy guys to gel with, and I think we play a style where I fit in well. So yeah, I felt really good the entire time.
Got a few games in now. How do you think it is blending of the new guys like yourself with some of the people that have been around? Is it still work in progress? You still got a little bit of time till the MAC season, but is it still something in progress?
Yeah, I think coming together is definitely a part of what we're doing now. I think guys will start to play better off each other and all that. As time goes on, I think you can practice it all you want, but guys need to play together, be on the court, have that in-game environment, and that's when you really get together.
Yeah, that's I always say good teams find a way to win. Even when things maybe aren't going well for us. When you have a guy like Evan Absar at the point guard position, man, it's always going to be advantage you at the end of games, in close games. Number one, he takes care of it. He makes big defensive plays. And then he can make his free throws. So, thank God we got Evan. And we knew we were going to have our hands full with Mercyhurst. I told our guys, listen, they weren't going to come in scared at all. They'd already beaten Loyola Chicago at Loyola Chicago earlier in the year. They played Northwestern really close. I think for 30 minutes, the score of that game was very misleading. Really didn't tell the tale of how that game was played. And they play unique. They hold the ball. It's almost like Mike Bray used to run it at Notre Dame, like a burn offense. They just bleed that clock. And then they go one-on-one or a ball screen. They just wait for you to make one mistake. And they're really well coached. And defensively, they're unique as well. They switch everything 1 through 5. They try to confuse you, turn you over. They do foul a lot, and we were able to exploit that as far as attacking north and south and getting to the rim. We shot 31 free throws, and we made our free throws. We made 26 out of 31. I thought first half, defensively, we were really good in the first half on the first shot defense. They had 10 offensive rebounds at half, and they finished with 10 offensive rebounds. So then in the second half, it was our first shot defense was horrific. And we got to be better going away from our bench, the execution of our defensive system. But again, it's good to be put in these situations where you have a close game. There's zero panic with our group. And again, I thought Luke stood really played well tonight, even though his minutes weren't really where I wanted him. He only played 21 minutes. With Peter being out, Luke got a chance to start. I thought he played really well, even though his minutes were a little choppy due to foul trouble. But good win for us. Obviously we're going to move on very quickly. We got Arkansas Pine Bluff on Sunday.
Coach, just what was different in your eyes about your team's effort on the glass in the second half to kind of shore that up?
Well, I think it's a couple things. Number one, they didn't miss many. They were getting a lot of easy shots. So that's part of it. Let's call a spade a spade. But we were better as well. We're blocking out. We were a little bit more physical. They shot, I think half their shots were threes in the first half, if I remember right. And so it's like that line of scrimmage in football, right? It's we were waiting for them to come to us and we weren't going to them. And long shots equal long rebounds, and the ball was just carrying over our head, and they were getting those long rebounds. I thought we made a pretty good adjustment with that. But like I said, our first shot defense, I just start thinking about like, guys not going what we call two eyes on the passer on a back screen or on a flare screen, or not jumping and swiping, not being in our gap, or there's so many defensive mistakes. It'll be good to watch that tomorrow with our guys. It continue to grow, and they were able to exploit. Give Mercyhurst credit. They got a good team.
How were you able to kind of shift inside the paint after a couple of dry spells from deep?
Yeah, just, attack, play north and south. I've said this about our team this year. I think last year we were really tied to the 3-point line in a lot of ways with our team. I think we can really score in different ways this year. We can get to the line. We put a lot of pressure. We got a lot of handlers. I say that when Luke was in foul trouble, we were playing kind of big there out there. But usually we got a lot of handlers out there, and we can really deck the ball. We can post it through Antoine. Almar had a really nice back down, little Barkley dribble there from the perimeter. He liked his matchup. But we can score in different ways. And I think that's the beauty of this team. That's what gives us a chance to have a really good offensive team.
Coach, how important was it for Luke Skowjak to come back in with 4 fouls at the 13-minute mark and then finish that one out for you guys?
Well, number one, I'm the idiot that played him with 2. I always play guys with 2 fouls in the first half. I don't want to foul our own guys out. He picked up a third. He got an offensive rebound foul there towards the end of the first half. Then he gets another one on the offensive glass for his 4th foul there early in the second half, because we kind of debated as a staff, do we start Luke? And I was like, man, we need him in there. I felt like, just his experience, ball handling, playmaking, and it was a little bit of a risk. And he obviously picked one up early there in the second half, his 4th. And I was like, man, you got to figure it out. And I was impressed because Luke it's hard for a player sometimes when your minutes are choppy, coming in, coming out. We'd sub him out whenever we were going back on defense to try to protect him. We played a lot more zone than I wanted to be honest with you, to try to protect him again. And, he never lost his rhythm, which if you've ever played, if your minutes are choppy and you're sitting over there for a while, then you're going back in, you're pulled out in and out, man, it's really hard to find rhythm as a basketball player. And he made some huge plays on offense in his 21 minutes, man. So he was critical to the win tonight.
It's sort of kind of a game-to-game thing, and did you have to change much as far as what you were running once Luke got into some foul difficulties?
Yeah, Peter is day-to-day. He's fine. Like, I think if, he sprained his ankle in practice, and he's fine. He's doing well. Honestly, I think if it was a MAC tournament game, he would have been able to play tonight. So I would anticipate him playing next game as long as all things go well over the next 48 hours, 48 to 72 hours. He'll be good to go on Sunday. And then, yeah, we had to change things up. It's like, listen, you lack ball handlers out there all of a sudden, right? It's like you got to try to cut a little bit more. You got to try to play through the post a little bit more, try to use our size to our advantage and not necessarily maybe our quickness. So, yeah, we tried to play a little bit differently, and we haven't really done that a ton, to be honest. So kind of had to do it kind of on the fly.
How big was the offensive rebound toward the end? You came down, and it might have been Woolfolk. Somebody grabbed a big rebound in the lane to get another clock. How big was that?
Huge. Antoine, he's I think he is top 25, at least tonight before going into the game, top 25 in the country in defensive rebounding percentage. And then he was top 75 in offensive rebounding percentage individually in the entire country. He's our enforcer. He's our enforcer. Huge rebound, kicked it out to Evan. Evan gets fouled. Evan's going to make him. That's what he does. Ice the game. Huge play.
They had a lot of points in the lanes. 32 for them in the paint, 30 for you in the paint. Were you? Was it just the type of thing that they were running, where all of a sudden they could break somebody through there?
Yeah, I thought number one, Bernie Blunt really got it going there late, and that's what he can do. He can take over a game. He's a first-team All-League player. They got guards. They got a couple isolation guards, but then they hurt us with off screens. I thought just our off-screen execution defensively was very poor, if I'm being honest, and we got to be better, and that's on me. I got to get our guys to execute it.
Coach, Almar kind of hit it right away in the interview earlier. It was kind of nice to see a close game like this early on. Can you back me up on this?
Yeah, it's good to be put in different situations. To this point, we've been down. I think against ODU, we were down by 15, I think, or right around there in the first half early. Got off to a very, very poor start. There was no panic with our group. You could see that. We executed and we got our way right back into it. And tonight, even though they went on their run, they're kind of during that time, all of a sudden they were up by 1. And it's like, man, there's zero panic with our group. And so it is. It's good. You practice these situations every day, special situations. Whether it's 10 seconds, up by 3 or whatever your philosophy is on that, or, hey, there's, a minute to go, it's a 1-point game. How do you close out the game? That last minute is critical. And because we're going to be in those situations, I told our guys probably 15 to 20 times, there's going to be a 1-possession game there with 2 minutes to go. And can you execute during that time? And our group can. And it starts with our guard play. I always say, again, I give Evan a lot of credit. Evan's incredibly poised. He makes me look like I can coach.
Last thing, what's the takeaway out of this one?
Listen, I think, number one, it's a really good win. Listen, Mercyhurst is going to win a lot of games. A lot. Got a hot, like they were, like when you schedule all these games, you don't know what to expect year to year. Every team changes. Like you how they were last year, they're a very different team this year. And they obviously got a chance to show that against Loyola Chicago. And like I said, they played Northwestern very tough for 32 minutes. So again, it's going to end up being a really nice win, and it's good to win close games. So, and again, but it's a teaching. Every game it gives us an opportunity to teach to our guys. And that's where we get to watch film tomorrow, get in here, get better, learn from it, move on to the next game.
Coach, I know you were missing a big scorer with Peter Suter out tonight, but Almar has been one of your best scorers all season long.
Yeah.
Are we looking at an increased role for him throughout the rest of the season?
Yeah, good question. We always kind of say we're strength in numbers here. It's how our team's built. It's how our offense is built, defense. We are super, super connected. And Almar's fit right in. Just with his skill set, he's a mismatch guy. He can play the 5. He can play the 4. He can play all over the floor. He can back you down like he did there towards the end. He can hit threes. He can pass the ball. He can make decisions. I mean, he can do a lot of different things. So we have more than 5 starters. Listen, we're super blessed. I've said we have 7 guys who you could say any of those 7 could start, and he's one of them. And he started one game, I think, when Antoine was out against Trinity. But again, he knows he's going to play a lot of minutes for us, and he knows how important he is for our team to be really, really successful.